This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Patrick Cullen, the MD of Tertiary Minerals. Hello, Patrick. Welcome onto Stockbox. How are you?
Good day, Mark. I'm very well, thank you.
Good. It's good to have you on. Now, of course, you are the recently appointed Managing Director of Tertiary. And before we get into the news from today, I want to ask you, how did this opportunity come about and what tempted you to accept it?
Okay, well, that's a great question, actually. I've been in the role just 2 months now. I actually became aware of the role through my contact with one of the non-executive directors, Mike Armitage, who's a very senior, guy out of SRK. He's been the head of SRK Global in the past, and he's recently joined that board quite beginning of this year, I think. And then, I was aware of their projects. They've been active in Scandinavia for a number of years. What really piqued my interest, I'll say, Mark, is that I noted that they'd established a Zambian subsidiary, and they'd called it Luangwa. And I'd worked in Zambia back in the 2000s on uranium exploration, Australian listing. So I had a lot of experience from Zambia, and I was very intrigued. So yeah, that was really the introduction.
Okay, sounds good. So, of course, recently you have announced a comprehensive strategy and portfolio update across the whole business, as well as an updated presentation. So what is the key strategy for Tertiary moving forward now that you are in your position, got your feet under the table, so to speak, and had a chance to assess the portfolio?
Well, basically, the strategy is that we're completely focused on what we call energy transformation metals, so metals related to what's happening in the greater economy, and of course precious metals, because we have some gold in our portfolio. So effectively, copper is really at the center of everything that's happening in this energy transformation. So I guess our strategy is that we're in stable, democratic, mining-friendly jurisdictions, and specifically we're in Nevada and we're in Zambia.
Okay. Now, a key takeaway from the strategic review is that the company is focused on, as you just said, stable and democratic, geologically prospective and mining-friendly jurisdictions. Is that really important, do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, right? Okay, first you have to go where the rocks are. Okay, so when we talk about silver and gold, we're talking about Nevada. I mean, Nevada historically is, in fact, the silver state. Okay, that's maybe a name that comes from the 1800s. It's still a major producer of silver, second only to Alaska in the United States. It's the fourth largest jurisdiction for gold production in the world as a standalone jurisdiction. So that's pretty incredible. All the majors are active. Zambia, it's the copper belt, world's richest sedimentary hosted copper. And in terms of the political stability, well, we've just been through an election recently in Zambia. There's been a peaceful and very prompt change in administration to what seemed to be a much more business-friendly, mining-friendly administration. We're already taking steps to make their country more competitive to explorers and to miners, particularly. And Nevada, yeah, I mean, it's I think number one rated. It absolutely is number one rated according to the standard Fraser Institute that everybody refers to, and that's no surprise. It's got a very robust mining permitting sort of system, and yes, I just want to underline that the rocks are there in both of these jurisdictions.
Okay, and it looks like many of the projects have planned drilling campaigns. So can you summarize these activities and what's going to be going on over the next few months?
Right. So, I mean, we've actually had some recent results in some very good silver grades out of our most advanced project in Nevada. That's at Pyramid. So the North Ruth prospect at the north end of the Pyramid prospect. And I've already announced recently that this is a very compelling drill target. So we want to move straight to that. In Zambia, we're planning drilling actually at the beginning of the dry season. Okay, so the situation with Zambia, and I'm experienced there, we have a very small window between now and the wet season to get drilling, and we're just finalising the last step in the permitting process there. And I must say, we've made great progress with that permitting, but we don't want to be. We have to be sensible, and safety is first. And of course, we don't want to be paying for rigs stuck in the mud. So Zambia we're going to do some more work on the ground. We've got plenty of desktop work to do as well, because we've just optioned 4 more licenses there. But so in terms of activity, we're busy right now. Drilling plan for first quarter in Nevada. We've also got drilling planned for Zambia second quarter, and we've got another very interesting and developing a very interesting prospect at Brunton Pass in Nevada, copper, and we've done a lot of soil sampling and a lot of mapping and a lot of modeling, and we're just establishing a design for some trenching, which is going to give us a lot more sort of detail, and my expectation is that we're going to move towards potentially drilling in that location as well. Now, I think that also comes around to what our strategy is. Our strategy is that we actually have quite a large pipeline of projects, and we want to move through them and get to drill ready status, in short order. I mean, I think that's overall a strategy that I've seen demonstrated at Tertiary, in the history before I've been there, but certainly in the last year, even through the whole COVID and everything else. So yeah, really, that's there's quite a bit of activity on the go now, and it's leading to actual drilling.
Okay, and with you being recently appointed, I mean, what we don't want to dwell too much on the history of the company, but what was it doing before? And is it fair to say that with you and your recent appointment and the activities of the plan, that there's almost a sort of renewed energy or fresh lease of life in the company now?
Well, I hope that's going to be one aspect of it. I mean, the company had already made the decision, and I underline that, it had already made the decision to move into Zambia. But I mean, so the timing is perfect from a political perspective in terms of the what's happening there in terms of the mining tax regimes and so forth. I mean, there's been already redresses there in terms of royalty tax and deductibility. So there's action. My experience there, and I genuinely love working in that country, and I've got a good network there. And I've made, our partners. I've actually been to Zambia, so I spent a couple of weeks there not too long ago. I've been on site on a couple of the projects. Spent serious time in the bush looking for old drilling collars. Just verifying data that we've managed to gather. Working closely with my country representative, Shangwa Chima, who's really a top guy. We've had meetings. We've met the minister. We had a very, very brief but important meeting with the new mining minister, which I think is, a great bonus for a junior company who's just arriving in Zambia. So yeah, I have a lot of energy. I think that comes across. I'm very excited to be there, but I'm also very excited to be in Nevada, and I'll be in Nevada by the end of this month. Mm-hmm. And doing the handover with the chairman, Patrick Cheatham, who's been kind of handling things for the past year. Meeting the local geologists, the people that were using their setting up drill contracts. That requires someone who's going to have full time to get stuck into it, and that's basically me. But I would say yes, that there's definitely the energy there. There's my enthusiasm. I'm very excited about the Zambian opportunities. I'm excited to be in Nevada. And I think it's I like that. I also like the spread that we're in 2 jurisdictions, and people will look at this and they'll say, Nevada versus Zambia. Really, I mean, Zambia, the rocks are there. There's the government, the president's come out, the new president said he wants to basically more than double copper production in a short space of time. So the thing that's happened in Zambia is that they became less competitive compared with their neighbors because of, royalties, a government that was spending more money than it could. And was squeezing the mining companies. That's turning around now. So what they need actually is resources. They can mine and they can increase production, but underlying all of this is our resources, and that's where we come into it.
Okay, and just on the investment case, then, Patrick, what is it that you want to achieve here with Tertiary? What's your vision?
So our vision is basically we think we've arrived at a perfect time in Zambia. We think we've already established some very exciting and interesting opportunities in Nevada. So really, one thing I need to do is make sure that people can hear what we're doing. I think that's really important, and maybe that's been lacking to some degree. But what I want to do is I want to take from some early stage projects to the next stage, where we're going to be drilling at Nevada. In Zambia at Jax, we've already got quite a bit of historic work. I mean, millions of dollars worth of work. So it's really already, it's not pure green fields. There's already something to get stuck into. And we're looking at other opportunities. So we're in the country, and when you're in the country and you're doing things and you're creating a good, good connections, a good relationship with your local partner, for example, I think, other opportunities become available. So we're also having discussions and looking at everything. I would like to see Tertiary with some serious resources within my tenure, and I expect to produce a very strong news flow in terms of activity.
Okay. Well, Patrick Cullen, the MD of Tertiary Minerals, thank you very much for your time.
Mark, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.